Hey everybody, it's Mother Goose 27 and welcome back to my channel. So, as always, this video will contain spoilers. I know this movie has been out for a while, but be warned. This is one movie that is regarded as a classic, and I'd always seen clips of it, but I never actually watched the whole thing. And I might have watched, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but I've never actually watched all of it. So, I finally watched Back to the Future. I know, don't hate me, okay? I don't know why I never watched it. I just never did. I really enjoyed it, and I really wish I had watched it sooner. So, like always, before I really get into it, there are time codes in the description if you guys want to jump around. I'm going to give my general thoughts. I'm going to talk about the characters, I'm going to talk about the music and the cinematography, and then I'll give some final thoughts. So let's just get into it. So, I really enjoyed this movie. Let me just say, when they killed Doc Brown, I was like, boy, we're only like 15 minutes into the movie. What? I thought there were 3 of these things. No! And then like 5 seconds later, Marty goes back in time, and I'm like, oh, he'll do something to save him. Yeah. Also, let me just say, I have seen Rick and Morty, and I'm going to try my absolute best not to call Marty Morty. But if I do, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I really enjoyed the story. I like how it progressed. Marty was really lucky that Doc hit his head a week before that lightning strike. Marty was also really unlucky that his parents were supposed to meet the same day that Doc hit his head. Just like everything kind of like was connected, I guess. And I really enjoyed that. I also really liked how while Marty had a lot more courage and a lot more confidence in himself than his father did, he still had that fear of rejection. It was a nice connection between him and his father. The whole his mom being in love with him was really weird. Not gonna lie, it was weird. And when she kissed him, I was like, no, please stop, that's your son. Oh no. But then she was like, oh, for some reason I feel like I'm kissing my brother. You weirdo. You know, Marty, his whole plan was that he was going to try and like take advantage of her, but she'd kind of already taken advantage of him. Not in the same way, but this girl took off his pants while he was unconscious. She was rubbing on his thigh, and yet he thought it was a good idea to take her to a dance and try and take advantage of her. And it was all for the plot so that his dad, George, could come save the day and be the hero, and it all worked out in the end. But it was a little cringy, a little bit. I was like, no, Marty, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Anyway, moving forward, the climax with him trying to get back to the future where the tree falls and unplugs the cord and they can't get it back in, and then Marty gets locked in a car, George ends up having to fight Biff, and Marty having to play in the band. It all just... Hello, cat. It was all very suspenseful. Hey, Grouch. The whole climax was very suspenseful, and I really enjoyed it. It had me on the edge of my seat, even though I knew there's 2 more movies, which I haven't watched yet. I was like, okay, how are they going to get out of this? How are they actually going to make it? Anyway, I really did enjoy it. Let me start talking about the characters now. Doc Brown, I thought was really weird, but really interesting. I really enjoyed his character, and I'm really excited to see what they do with him in the future. Marty, I really enjoyed that he was like a really confident, like cool guy. You still got to see his insecurities, that he was afraid he would never be able to make it with music, and that he tried so hard to save Doc's life. Biff is a jerk. I hated him, and he got what he deserves. I'm so glad that George punched him and completely changed history. George, I really liked the fact, like, you saw him as an adult, he was still a coward, and then you go back, he's a teenager, and you get to see his arc as he goes from a coward to actually being able to stand up to Biff. The mom, again, I just thought it was so weird that she was trying to get in a relationship with her son. I'm sorry, I literally can't even say it. It's just so cringe and weird. Obviously, she didn't know, but it was just weird. I really enjoyed the fact that Marty was able to stop her from drinking and smoking. Her and George are much healthier and much happier in the future, and their family's in a much better place. They seem just happier overall. They're in a better place financially. George was able to follow his dreams. The mom, I might have missed it, but I'm guessing she was an alcoholic, so in the future she's not an alcoholic, so go her. Those were all kind of the main characters, so I'm gonna move on. I really enjoyed all the characters. Like, even though I hated Biff, I still thought he was a good character. Not in good in the moral sense, but good in the interesting sense. Let's talk now about the music and the cinematography. So I didn't know this was a Steven Spielberg movie, and I thought that was really cool when I found out. And I've only got one real thing to talk about the music. I mean, I really didn't enjoy the music, but when Marty is getting chased by Biff and his friends right after they had their fight in the cafe, the music really reminded me of Jurassic Park, and I was like, my little nerd heart just like connected, and I loved it. That's all I really have to say about the music, but just overall I really enjoyed it. The cinematography was amazing. I absolutely loved the opening scene where it just showed all of Doc Brown's like clocks and some of his inventions, and then it comes in with Morty. I knew I'd do it. It comes in with Marty, and you can't see his face. During this whole thing, you see the TV station, and there's a news anchor talking about how plutonium has been stolen or is missing, and then Marty puts his skateboard down, and he rolls it across the floor, and the camera follows the skateboard as it bumps into the plutonium hidden under the bed. I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. They had some fantastic shots. I really enjoyed the cinematography. I really don't think there was any shots that I didn't like. Just overall, it was really great. And I loved the special effects. Obviously, they're nothing compared to the special effects we have today, but we can't judge an older film's special effects by today's standards. So I think for the time that it was made, it was absolutely amazing, and I loved it. Overall, I really loved the film. I loved the story. I loved Marty's struggles to get his parents back together. Like, it really was an intense scene. I'm so glad I finally watched this movie, and it just made my heart so happy when Marty ran up to Doc after going back in time and seeing him being shot again. And Doc's wearing a bulletproof vest. Oh, my heart. Thought it had a really good message of like standing up for yourself and helping those around you. And I'm really excited to watch Back to the Future 2 and 3. I don't know when I'm going to, but I'll definitely watch it at some point. So let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on Back to the Future? And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe to join the flock. And I will see you in the next one. Mother Goose out.